all our minds to a vision and to a common goal that we want to achieve. But I use the ability of my speech to continue to emphasize it to the young people, that this term is very crucial for us. We should be able to create a difference and set precedents for those that will come after us. It might not be so big of a difference that it will take away everything we have been through, but at least it can give us a good reference in 2025 as we retire. I want to believe that when each and every one of us goes back on our beds as leaders and you're retiring, and you think about this vision that I am sharing, you would want to achieve the same. And because of that, my own candidature for National Female Youth MP is presented simply. I proudly say the daughter of a peasant because that's what I am. And today I am contesting to be National Female Youth MP. Doesn't mean that I am the best lady in Uganda. I'm probably not even ranked among the top 5. But because of leadership and the passion that we have to change lives and transform communities, we are here today. And we shall have the influence in this country. Because we come from a perspective of going through what you go through in your different capacities and in your local context. So we understand it and we are best suited to stand and advocate for our issues to be solved on table. My own agenda is very simple. It is realistic and achievable. I always tell my colleagues that I present myself as a visionary leader, one that brings integrity and vibrancy on table for the young people. My manifesto is summarized in a 5-point agenda that is at the back of the flyer you are holding. Did everyone get a flyer? Yes. Yes. Beginning with agenda number 1, youth inclusion, which is one of the greatest challenges we face in this country as young people. Because we are in the middle, we are lukewarm, massaged to be included, not included. We are even confused sometimes because the situations always arise and we think we are included, yet in actual sense we are not. We are passive participators instead of being the active ones. It is very evident through all the government projects and programs. There is no single one that I know where young people have been part of it from the genesis. It is when it comes to implementation phase, that's when they say, oh, let us bring young people on board so that the optics of this can look good. Then we implement a project that we cannot explain what its objectives were. We do not even know the genesis of it. Because stakeholders sit down the way we are in a hall like this, and they come up with a wonderful document on point statistics, the best English, that if you read it and you have a history of economics or statistics, you are impressed. You say, okay, now this is going to work for the young people. Follow it on ground and look for the impact created, 0 or none. And you want to ask yourself, what is the problem? Is it the brains that put down this document? Is it the people that the document is geared to? What is in between the gap that is failing the impact to be created and livelihoods to be improved? It is the lack of inclusion. Because much as you like it, the problems of the young people are complex. When someone stands before you and mentions them the way I'm speaking, they sound similar. Our number 1 problem has been poverty across the country, actually around the whole world. Then you ask, how do we get out of poverty? That is where the problem is now. Because we differ. But 2 is on vibrant representation. I think vibrancy is not something that someone has to drum for. You can see a vibrant leader in just a 1-minute interaction. You would be impressed. And it is important that as young people, we have vibrancy throughout our leadership, not just for National Female Youth MP, even for the Regional Youth MP, even for us at our different district levels. Can you be as vibrant as you can in your term of service as a youth leader? I always tell my colleagues that the best feeling you can have as a young person is tomorrow when you are following political proceedings in the country and you're on television, on radio, or reading a newspaper, and you can relate to the message that your youth member of parliament is deliberating on. If we had a conclusive discussion today, and tomorrow you had me debate or table it on the floor of parliament, you would be very happy. Your joy would be that your voice is being re-echoed where it should reach. And the joy you feel when you're ably represented, no amount of money can buy. Did you see the joy Mauso had when he was talking about the debate? Tell me which money can buy that joy. No one is going to come and say, Trim, I have given you 500,000. Feel like as if you are ably represented. And you start feeling that way when you are not. I have seen people proudly talk about their members of parliament. And they want to know, the whole world to know that their member of parliament, okay, not necessarily youth, their member of parliament is ably representing them. And they don't even need a coin from you. This time around, we are saying that that should be the scenario with the young people for these next 5 years. Because the ideas that we look out to tabling will be ideas that come from within ourselves. That's why my own slogan was chosen to be the youth voice. Because to me, this is a platform that we are collectively going to use together. And as a candidate at the forefront, I am just a representative figure. Nothing much, nothing less. It shouldn't be that it's only my ideas that can thrive and develop the young people. Within us, someone would have a brilliant idea that if we captured and implemented it, it would bring about tremendous change in society. The vibrancy is what lets us to capture those ideas. 3 is on consultative leadership. I call it the greatest pillar of my campaign. Take away everything else and leave consultative leadership. Because either way, it is a chain linkage to the other 4. And it was one of my greatest inspirations to come and contest. The big gap that has been created over time between those we have been voting and us who have been voting. How do we bridge it a little closer to ensure that at least we have an environment that enables us to interface freely and interact as leaders and build ourselves and grow as a generation? Consultative leadership was the best answer that I could get. The idea is that if I'm able to come to Bugisu sub-region, I move from district to district looking for you. I return again, I call for a sub-regional meeting just to seek for your support and votes. Ideally, we should be able to do the same in the future. But this time not for a campaign. That the young people of Bugisu are seated with their youth member of parliament. They are deliberating issues. They are putting across their expectations. The next one should be an evaluation meeting. That my fellow youth leaders, you sent me for Agenda 1, it was successful. Agenda 2 is still in the pipeline. Number 3 has failed because of reason A, B, C. I think we need to reconverge in our next meeting and see how we can rethink it through and make it achievable as well. You want to tell me that if we moved that way, we won't be with a better face value in this country? Even government will know that this council, the youth leaders of this time, are organized and they know exactly what we want. Our voice would be strengthened. Because the country is big with 146 districts, it's unrealistic for me to stand before cemented and put consultative leadership paramountly within us. We shall retire happy leaders.